everyone. Welcome back. Happy Thursday. This is our 36th weekly call, hashtag Rocket AI. So I think you guys know what we might be talking about. We've got a new guest you can see here on our slide here. It's little rocket dog. So we'll talk obviously about this pup. But in the meantime, let me bring to the stage, hey, AHM, Aber. Let me bring to the stage Christopher and Jesse. What's up, my dudes?
Hey, what's up? What's up?
Put you on this side. There you go.
Good morning.
Happy Thursday, everyone. How's everybody doing?
Pretty great, man.
Pretty good. Little sleepy, little tired. I think I didn't get to bed till around 4:30, working on some updates for the team. So, yeah.
Oh, hey, hi, Rocky. What's up?
Good to see you. Hi, Rock.
Hello.
Rock, good name. Rock and Rocket. All right.
Hey, everyone. Good to see you. Spaceman 30, let's go.
Hey, Spaceman. Always. Oh, good to see you. It's just some familiar names. Good to see everybody every week.
Yeah, buenas. We're doing great.
So before we get into it, this is, what is it today? It's January 16th.
Yeah.
In 4 days, there's a big change happening in our country, or because presidential, inauguration. But I don't want to get into the politics, but people have had excitement or thoughts on this change coming up in 4 days with our industry. So, do you guys have any predictions or any thoughts?
Well,
what do you think is going to happen in the next 4 years, or maybe even just the next 6 months with a new administration? Crypto.
I mean, the first time ever we have a non-hostile government toward crypto. So I think that's really exciting because it's a huge difference when we're not worried about being unbanked. I mean, I have so many entrepreneur friends in America that are actually open to launching their token this year in the US versus have to always thinking about doing overseas. So I think that's that's a pretty huge sign, like that people are going to be a little less risk adverse around crypto in the US. That's going to be good for everyone around the world in crypto too. And I can see, like last week, everything a little choppy, but man, things are like really ripping. So even some of the old dinosaur tokens are like going strong this week. It's kind of crazy. I saw LTC Ripple's just ridiculous. I think it's going to be like the most hated rally.
Well, I don't
for so long. They just came out of nowhere. They flipped Solana. It's nuts.
I think you probably saw the same news I saw, which is that there was discussion about having a U.S. national crypto reserve, but with a particular focus on coins that are sort of headquartered in the U.S., which actually makes a certain sense from a regulatory standpoint. So obviously, Ripple and Solana were among the two discussed. So that would sure be big. We've been doing this for a lot of years, and it would really be nice. There's in so many ways the U.S. is a great business environment. There's a reason why a lot of businesses are headquartered in the U.S. and it would be really great for crypto businesses to be here. And I mean, also look, it's a good thing because there are a lot. Probably the overwhelming majority of crypto businesses are legitimate, and there are a few bad actors who give everybody a bad name.
Yeah.
Part of the reason people trust business in the U.S. is because they trust that when somebody who is a legitimate bad actor comes along, something will be done about it. And so that'll actually just bring more trust to the crypto space.
Yeah, and actually, Drew mentions here, but I think they're gonna bring in more regulations, which is anti-crypto. I mean, that's also a good point too, as it becomes recognized as a more legitimate industry with support from the administration that may bring along more regulation, which could be I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that?
Well,
I'm sure that's definitely a huge cohort, maybe most, who are not happy about that prospect. But then there's also the argument, if you want to legitimize, make this actually a scalable industry businesses. I mean, that might have to come along. So there's two sides to that coin. What do you guys think what do you guys think about that? Do you think that's going to be?
Yeah. I think I see it this way. I think this time around it feels very different than anyone because it's like, it was usually all about him last time, but this time around it's like he gathered a team And so the fact that he has like David Sachs as the crypto czar, and Elon Musk totally promotes Doge. Actually, the crazy thing is that the fact that the president has already an NFT collection and his own token before he was president, it's wild if you think about that. But the fact that he just gathered like the people he picks to just give him advice on crypto, that was really important. So whoever, the fact that Gary Gensler got, the threat, he quit because he knew he was going to just, everyone hated him. And the fact that he's going to probably be replaced by someone who's very understanding of crypto, know how it works, know that like really what happened with FTX was that a lot of humans were involved. If you have everything coded and it's in smart contracts, this is why the DEXs, they couldn't screw the people over, because DEXs, if something fails, everyone fails. There's no one bailing them out. It's not like a bank. Like the DEXs survived all that crap because there was no human in the middle that can like lie and bullshit their way through getting people to trust a lot of money to them, which is what Sam Bankman-Fried did. So I think that having really smart people in around the government now in crypto is going to be, that's to me like a really good sign. So let's see how they do. But that's cool because before you can just hear them when they talk about crypto, the fact that they wavered so much and didn't even know what things were, like definitions were, that was what was so crazy to all of us. Like, I can't believe these people are in charge of any of it. Yeah. So now,
I mean, Jesse's actually been to Capitol Hill and talked to senators and Congress people about this, and some of the conversations you relayed were really kind of eye-opening. Look, to Drew and to Sasso, obviously we all love the ideal of sort of like a perfect clockwork universe where everything just works. But the reality is we also live in the real world, and there are going to be disputes. And if we hope it never happens, but there are disputes in business sometimes. And when there are, being in an environment where that if something does end up in court, it's not going to be sort of might makes right, or it's not going to be corrupt and swept under the rug by somebody who can pay off the right judge, but that you generally have a pretty good sense that if you have to end up there, that it's going to be it's going to be fair and it's going to happen is really important. The other thing I'll say is, if you look at the U.S. capital markets, what I'll call the traditional capital markets, the stock exchanges and the futures exchanges and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're huge. They're massive. They're bigger than 100 years ago anybody in a nascent securities industry ever would have believed was possible. And I think the reason they are is because people trust them, and because time and trust lead to massive scale. And honestly, and this isn't just wild-eyed idealism, I genuinely believe that crypto technologies are a better version of a lot of that, and that they will over time come to replace it. So I think it's sort of inevitable that as things get to a certain size, there must be more regulation. And for those of us who love this sort of dream of pure decentralized code, there's a downside to that. But that stuff will also, the nice thing about the crypto markets is that stuff can always exist. DEXs are a great example. A lot of people aren't going to necessarily have the know-how or the skill to want to use a DEX, or they have to use a raw wallet for everything and so on and so forth. But that those will still exist for those who want them, and for people who prefer a more maybe simple app experience, whatever, that's what centralized exchanges are for, and that's why they still exist, right? Because sometimes we ask ourselves, why the hell do centralized exchanges still exist in a given that DEXs exist, right? But for a lot of people, it's easier to have somewhere where they don't have to manage the keys and everything else. But yeah. So anyway, I think overall, in my opinion, it's likely to be very positive.
Yeah. And and you guys can see also, I don't know if you guys pay attention to this, but the amount of Trump-related meme coins are just crazy right now.
Who's got TDS? TDS coin.
TDS is pumping right now, which is hilarious. And there's a bunch of other ones that I don't know if they're going to go anywhere, but it's just crazy. Droop and Juice is in the house. So,
hey, Irish, good to see you.
Irish.
Hey, looking forward to see. We're not gonna bet the other side of the team will be there. So yeah, they're gonna look forward to seeing you too. That's gonna be awesome. All right.
Let's move on. And I think Ridvan, he says it pretty succinctly. It's no secret that Trump is crypto friendly. I believe there will be good things about Web3 space in the near future, and I think we're in agreement there. So anyway, we'll check in again in next week when we have a new president. We'll see how things go.
See how all our bags did. I think they're going to be great.
Yeah, we'll talk about our bags on next Thursday, folks. Well, maybe we can all talk about it. Anyway, but if you have any comments on that, share what your thoughts are, either in the chat or on X in the thread, or whenever you see fit. But okay, let's move on. So this week is our 36th call. We are going to be talking about Rocket AI. As you can see here, we've got our little buddy on the slide. And so some introductions. Our agenda this week, introductions, we'll talk about Catstanbul, which Iris just mentioned. Unfortunately, Iris, we won't be seeing you. The three of us won't be seeing you in Catstanbul, but our other teammates are there, and our other co-founders are there. So, and some of them are local, so they will be able to show you a good time. We'll talk about Rocket AI, some Prism developments, a Deep Pioneers update, and then closing remarks, or then we'll say goodbye for the week. Okay, so let's get into it. Highlight number one, what do we got here? Oh, we've got the non-CMO of Solana. So this is a non-CMO summit. So CMO meaning, I'm meaning the chief marketing officer. I mean, I saw a thread and people were like, well, what does this mean? Chief meme officer, chief marketing officer, what is it? Coin meme officer. But anyway, this is going on tomorrow in New York. And Jesse, after this live stream, you're leaving on a jet plane.
Yeah, not really. Yeah. We're flight coach. But yeah, I'm heading out tomorrow or tonight. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So non-CMO just means, in the Solana space, there is no actual CMO role of Solana, because everyone who's a startup or you've just involved or building something, we're all our CMOs of Solana, of the whole ecosystem. We all help kind of lift all the tide, all the boats that are on this tide together. So so I think it was an invite only event. It's going to be surrounded by founders, startup founders, marketing people. People are really trying to push just the whole ecosystem together. So, and these events that are usually like this are really high quality. It's in New York. It's not at the headquarters. I think they put it in Tribeca, or I forget where, somewhere at the South New York, near the Trade Center, near the stock market. But anyway, that's going to be, I think it'll be pretty good. Like, it's a really good timing for us because we have our B2B platform. I'm going to be able to show them some demos. I want to close some deals when I'm there. It's going to be the first Solana event for me for the year. So I think it's a really great way to rekindle some relationships I built last year. And so I've always had, I think these are some of my favorites because they're really high quality, and you meet some pretty kick-ass entrepreneurs there and people who are building some really cool shit in Solana. So, and it's hosted by Solana Foundation. So it's always good to meet again with those people too.
Yeah.
So if you guys are there, definitely DM me. I'd love to meet. That's the whole point.
Great. Wait, well, that's going to be fun. And you didn't catch my reference, but Valum did. John Denver leaving on a plane.
Yeah.
That's in my head now.
Talking about John Denver in airplanes is scary. I mean, there's
okay.
Jesse, don't do a John Denver on an airplane, please.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we will not talk about. Chris, remember what you used to do when we would go? Christopher used to do this all the time. We were getting ready for an international flight, and he's staying in Seattle, and it's the night before, and Christopher's watching YouTube videos about plane crashes. Like 8 hours before we go on an international flight.
Well, there was a new YouTube video about a plane crash. What was I going to do? Wait to watch it on the plane? I've done that before, and people get very uncomfortable with that. So I don't do that anymore.
It's good to get out of your system all the fears. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Okay. All right. So highlight number 2. UpRock is expanding to IoTech, so a multi-chain move for UPT. So that means that you can trade UPT in the Deep Liquidity Hub over at Mimo Protocol, unlocking deeper liquidity and composability. It's a hard word for me to say in the morning. So check out our X. x.com/uprock.com. There's a tweet there, or you could go to IoTex. So that's x.com/IoTex_IO for more information on that.
And by the way, if you guys haven't participated, this is a big partnership with IoTex. It's been going on for, I think, 2 months now. It is the largest deep in campaign ever. They've given out a ton of their token. We've also did that through reward program and learn to earn, incentivizing liquidity pools. This is one of them. So this is an awesome way for us to beef up our liquidity pool. I think we mentioned a couple of live streams back that we want to double our liquidity right now. It kind of hovers between 500 to 650,000. We want to double that to over $1 million. And so this is one of those initiatives that's happening. So this is cool. Helps us go across to another chain with the IOTEX team, and they're doing big things in DePIN. They just launched their own agent as well called Bino, I think, and you can talk to it on X. So that's cool. But yeah, so if you like to earn rewards, they're all incentivized at this time, so you can earn a boost of tokens on both of theirs and ours. And there's other things still going on, and this campaign is not done yet. So you guys definitely check it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yep. That's a great campaign. Do you know when is it? The end of this month, or is it?
I think it's soon. I mean, I think it's been going on for a few months. So I think beginning of the year, I know it's going to kind of wind down. But
but this is a really great campaign.
Yeah, and those guys are a lot of fun. I see them all the time. I think I'm going to see one of them at the New York. So, yeah.
All right, cool. All right. Now, this is a insights from Simon. So this is SJ. DEDIC DDIC. I don't want to pronounce that incorrectly because it would sound like I'm saying the dick. But and I just did it. Okay, I just did the giggity. So anyway, Simon shares thoughts on the physical AI end game. So how DePIN relates to that, to physical AI. And so things like robotics and autonomous machines tending to take over much sooner than you expect. And it's going to be $1 trillion market in the making. So really, it's very interesting. So we see here in the different markets, we've got meme, DeFi, GameFi, ETF, EVM, layer 2, DePIN, and then there's AI, this huge chunk here. And it really does seem like, this coalition between the two it's happening. And AI is just here, that's the check of the year.
Yeah, I think I foresee you guys watch Rick and Morty. There's this one episode where Rick makes an AI bot. Sole purpose is to pass the butter. Like, what is my purpose? Pass the butter. Damn it. I think that's what's going to happen. That's the AI physical future. This is one purpose, super sad. This is pretty cool. Like I think, we've been talking about this AI swarm that's coming for over a year. And it's not quite there yet, where, if you just ask if you just do a survey of 100 people on the street, or even ask your friends, do you use any AI agent in your life besides ChatGPT? Like, does an agent actually personal to you? Or does actions while you sleep? Do you trust it yet to do that? Would you give it $100 to spend on your behalf while you're not paying attention? And it's not there yet, but everyone's feverishly building that now, so that's pretty cool. So I think that's and the fact that we've been always early adopters, but just personally too. So it's also just been a lot of fun. I don't know you guys, but I try every single new AI tool that's out there. I give it a shot. I try the free trials. I try them all out. I'm engaging with all these little AI agents that are out there too. So it's cool. It's a lot of fun. We're living in a really exciting time right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I think making a robot with his whole destiny is pass the butter. It's coming. Check out that Rick and Morty episode. It's awesome.
Do you know? Oh, yeah, okay. I have to look for that. I mean, they're all great. That's such a great show. Hey, Klaus, good to see you. There we go. Good to see you, man. Happy to see your name every week. All right. Now we've got. I did not. Let me make this bigger so I can actually read it. I did not get a chance to read this yet. From Grace. So this is Agents 101. I just saw that this morning when I woke up, and I have it bookmarked so I can read it, but I did not get a chance to read this yet. Did either of you get it? Jesse, I think you probably woke up around the same time I did. And they were rushing to get this ready, but it is Agents 101 must read. And I have read your other threads before, and I thought they were very, very insightful, Gray. So I am very excited to see this, but go check that out. That is retweeted on our X account, x.com/uprock.com. It's one of the top ones. and go give that a read because he always has great threads. Oh,
sorry, I'm muted. Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, definitely check it out.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Great, I really appreciate you, man. All right, and then lastly, folks, we have Catstanbul coming up. We talked about this already. So the UpRock crew is heading to Catstanbul, where they will see the likes of Irish over at Jupe and Juice. Some other who else in the chat is going to be there. So we've got Ridvan, Tufi, and Roz. So Roz are going to be over at Istanbul. Some of those guys are local, and they can show you around. I think you guys all live there at some point, but some are still there. And they can show you around all the hot spots. Believe me, I have been to Catstanbul with these fellas, and they are so much fun. And they really know where the good food is, where the good drinks are, and where the good sightseeing is.
Yeah.
So
if it's your first time and you have any questions, like, we're there to make friends and connect. So yeah, definitely reach out to us. It's an awesome city. It's huge. It's a mega city. It's the oldest city in the world, right? I think. And cats are everywhere. This is not just a Jupiter thing. There are cats everywhere. I think the fact that a city is just constantly putting out food for the cats, it just says something really peaceful and nice about a city that takes care of the pets in that way.
Yeah.
It's a cool vibe. It's a cool vibe when you just wake up and just people are randomly buying cat food for not their cat, just cats. I just put them out. You'll just constantly see like little food around here and there. Just has a cool vibe in the morning throughout the day when people do stuff like that. It's nice.
I love that. It's because I'm a cat person. I mean, I like dogs too. Obviously, I love dogs, but I also love little cats. And it's just so fun to see. Like, it's a city not even just a city; it's an entire country for cat lovers. It's so great. What a great place to be a kitty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Now let's go on to some product updates.
Yep.
What have we got next? Here's the topic of the hour. We've got little Rocket over here, Rocket AI. Mike shared that's Mike _AF _ now on X shared that we're launching Rocket soon. So Rocket is our little puppy AI that's going to help you with a lot of stuff. This is in development. Sorry, I'm adjusting this. This is in development. So let's talk about this, guys.
So I think I wanted to, Chris is the architect around this, and I thought it'd be good to just talk about how we think about AI agents and crypto. We're seeing, I don't know if you guys follow, but there are a ton out there. They're not all built the same. There are a lot out there that are kind of like fake it till you make it. They're not quite what they say they are. They're hard to build correctly. And really the power of what we're building, the UpRock, and our vision over a year ago is that all these agents are going to be able to do things for you, but you're going to assume that they can crawl the internet like it's your personal database. Today, the glue, the protocols, all the stuff to be able to do that without getting blocked constantly is not there. This is what we're building. It's a lot of work. It takes time. So I thought Chris can just talk about like how do you build these AI agents and what are they, and maybe talk about some of the terms you might have seen kind of thrown around out there, because like I said, not all agents are built the same. Some are fake, some are just bots. And so I thought it'd be great for Chris to just talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting because certainly if you're on X or just about anywhere these days, it seems like everybody is building an AI agent in their spare time. Probably people's grandmothers are building AI agents. But what's interesting is I think there's a big disconnect between what an AI agent really should be. Gray, I haven't had a chance to read your thread yet, but based on the title, I suspect you probably addressed some of these things as well. What is really an AI agent versus what is just a bot? I mean, we've had bots for a long time. We've had bots since early chat programs back in the 90s, where you could ask the bot to do something. And so there's a number of different definitions, but I guess to me, it would really be about whether it's just following a predetermined logic tree, even if it's a fairly complex one. That's just a bot. Lots of bots can, follow a logic tree where you say, hey, bot, turn on my lights. And the bot knows how to, physically call some APIs and something like that, versus, on the one hand, versus an agent, which actually has to be able to reason about actions and consequences. And I think, generally speaking as well, one of the things that an agent should be definitely capable of doing is accessing information, and not just any information, but up-to-date information, to actually respond to new information and to adapt to new information. So, of course, some bots can access information. You certainly, anybody who uses Discord or Slack knows that there's, for instance, GIF bots, a bot that allows you to, say, search on a GIF website. Yes, I say GIF, not GIF. Jen? I'm sorry.
No, I'm with you. It's GIF.
All right. But that's a bot that can access outside information, but it can't reason about it. It can't react to it. And so, combining those things together, where you can access the outside world, you can reason about it, you can react to it, and those are really the keys to what constitutes an agent. To use a term that's kind of fallen out of favor a little bit, especially outside of the gaming space, but it needs to exhibit emergent behavior. It needs to be able to do things that it wasn't specifically programmed for in its decision tree. And so Jesse, was mentioning, I guess I'm pretty into this space, so I know this, but one of the terms that gets used a lot is RAG, or resource augmented generation, and this means that you essentially have a big database, and the agent can essentially look up things in the database that are relevant to what it's doing, and it can use those things to inform it, because as we all know, AIs have a very limited context space. They can only think about so much stuff at one time. Now, interestingly, this has gotten really big. There are some AIs that have, sort of experimentally up to like 1 million tokens of context space or more. But certainly there are actual practical AIs, such as the latest version of Llama, some of the Quen stuff and others, the new OpenAI stuff, that have 128,000 tokens, which is a lot. That's like an entire novel's worth of context space. But still, it's limited compared to a human's understanding and our ability to sort of vaguely recall parts of things that happened years ago, and so on and so forth, which, of course, inform our thinking and our logic and our decisions. But a RAG is only as good as the data that's in it as well. And so, the RAG is the way you do it, but the underlying database that powers the RAG is only as good as the data that's in it. And so this is where UpRock is so powerful, because we, with what we're building, it's less about having a predefined database of knowledge. A lot of times, if you talk to an AI chatbot, I mean, gosh, if you go on almost any big company's website now, they have a new AI chatbot to help you out. But in a lot of cases, their database is just, they scraped all of their help pages and put them into this database. So it doesn't actually have any more awareness than you would have. Maybe it's a little faster sometimes, because you don't have to actually read through every single help page yourself. You can sort of assume it's done that for you, but it doesn't really have any ability to react to its environment, to think, I guess we don't really think that AIs are thinking these days, but it doesn't have any ability to react to its environment more than just the static data it's already encoded. But with UpRock, with what we're building, it has the ability to include sort of anything you could find on the web as part of what goes into it, as well as its previous interactions with you. So all of those things together make it very, very powerful, and we hope and believe that will lead to it actually being able to make kind of emergent behaviors. And I wanted to talk about one thing, because I saw a post on X the other day, and I don't remember what it was exactly, but somebody was trying to draw the line back to the movie Blade Runner, where, remember, the replicants, the thing there was like they actually thought they were human, and maybe it was a little bit almost, it's a wonderful movie, but almost ambiguous whether they were or they weren't, or so on. But the reality is, with all of these modern AIs and with so many of the agents that were out there, which in many cases, the agents that are out there today are just an LLM front end to a bot. Their actual ability to execute tasks and to react to things is no different than a bot from 20 or 30 years ago. They just have a more open-ended interface to react to it, or to interact with it. But, the replicants sort of thought they were human, but that isn't the problem we have with bots today. The problem we have with bots today is they hallucinate one thing, and then that becomes part of their ground truth for the rest of the session. And so I've seen the term used in some papers about a hallucination cascade, once they hallucinate one thing, especially if it's near the beginning of a reasoning session or something like that, then that hallucination becomes part of their ground truth for the remainder of the session. It therefore, and so you have this like this long sort of building on its own mistakes. So the problem isn't that they think they were human. The problem is they think that something they said earlier was accurate when it's not. And so, because of this, I'm sorry?
That all sounds a little human to me.
I mean, I guess. Maybe the problem is that they have the same human failings.
I've been right for on many topics for a long time.
But anyway, I was just making a joke. But yes, to your point.
Know what? One thing, Chris,
go ahead. No, I was just going to say, so it's easy to spin up an agent. It's easy to, I mean, not easy, but it's certainly, there's a straightforward series of steps. You sort of write a soft, you write a soft prompt, you write some at the beginning of a conversation, you tell it to think about what it's doing, you use some modern tools to make sure its output meets, is in some JSON format that you can send to the rest of your backend and so on. But I would say, while Web3 promises trustless automation, the true test lies not in whether an agent is capable of executing transactions, but whether an agent is capable of understanding why they should be executed at all and what it means when they're executed. So I think building an agent that can generate transactions is easy. Building an agent that understands why it should generate transactions is the hard part. So there's plenty of people out there posting about their Web3 trading agents, but in my opinion, many of those are little different than a bot that's just monitoring some signal and generating some output. Maybe the Web3 part allows it to make some slight adjustments to it, or like a DeFi portfolio manager that's really just a notification system, but using natural language output. And don't get me wrong, these can be great. For instance, both CoinGecko and CoinMarketCap now have some AI-generated summaries on some of the pages, which can be super useful to give you like an at-a-glance view where you don't have to look at all of the indicators yourself. It just gives you a summary. And that summary is excellent. That's a wonderful use of AI, but it's not an agent. For me, a true Web3 agent needs to be able to analyze the smart contracts, analyze the state of what's going on, analyze the sentiment, analyze what people are posting on X and other social media platforms, and synthesize all of that. Indeed, to my mind, it's almost less important. Indeed, you could have a wonderful agent that never executes transactions by itself, but that can develop a thesis and write a compelling case for, okay, you should buy this token, you should hold it for this long, these should be your exit parameters and so forth. That is a much more powerful agent than one that can simply construct and execute transactions. So, for me, I'll just kind of maybe try to land this thing here since we've gotten pretty out there. The future of AI agents isn't about building better decision trees. It's not about building a bigger database, but it's about creating a digital Red Riding Hood that can safely navigate the dark forest of Web3 and knows which paths to take. It can read the signs. It can, sense the changes in the wind. And so it knows which paths are safe and which ones are, wolves in granny's clothing, so to speak. That's what a real AI agent is. And that's the foundational pieces that we're building with UpRock. And by the way, we're not going to build the last AI agent that anybody ever does, but in order to show off how this works, this is why we're putting some of these things into Rocket, because we really want to show people that, hey, with UpRock, there's this amazing ability to pull in real-time data and to use that to actually make something great.
Yeah. Great analogy. Great analogy. And like this is where the AI and DeepIn intersects. So I thought maybe we could go into some preparing for the AI agent future. So like here's some things that we have in mind. Like for example, trading and market insights. So you can have an AI powered copy trading, track and mirror the top 10 gainers of the week automatically, have an additional tip feature for copy traders, creating a performance-based incentive, real-time market alerts, trading coins and narratives, price prediction models, token metrics that with a dashboard so you can track TVL, liquidity, market cap, circulating supply, and unlock schedules. What do we have next? Portfolio and wallet analytics. So smart wallet tracking, analyze holdings, see transactions, and staking activities of the wallets that you follow. I mean, we've been talking about this a lot. We mentioned this last week. Jess, I know you're really, you and Tufan probably in particular is very excited about this. This use case.
I think, I mean, one thing we're going to have to be very careful of, because it's really exciting to build it. We've always wanted to build a wallet that you can talk to, which is what Rocket's about. But our strengths are our DeepIn network. And so we want to make a DeepIn network that is friendly for all other agent builders to access the internet through UpRock. And so we're going to have a showcase. We're going to specialize in what we do well, and what Rocket's going to do a great job of explaining the UpRock wallet, and it's going to fetch deals for you, and it's going to talk about all the features and do things that what's going to be great for our community. But we also want other agents to use the UpRock network to give them even more superhuman powers to crawl the internet and get the real-time data that all these AI agents really need without getting blocked by companies like Cloudflare and the rest of them. So yeah, one of the things I think Chris' analogy about Redwriting is great, because it needs to not just be able to crawl the internet. It needs to know that this site is actually trash, this site is actually good, or this smart contract is shifty, this one is not. It needs to have that kind of reasoning. And so it gives you actually useful insights, and not just be able to copy pasta another website's thoughts, because that's not good either. It needs to actually okay, this site is saying something that's not according to the 100 sites that I crawled. This is the consensus, or here's what I'm thinking about. Here's my recommendations. It needs to be able to do that to be useful. One of the things that we do, and a lot of folks, and this is actually a painful process. If there's ever a new token launch, like the Penguin launch, such as the Penguin token launch, or even any meme coin on the new Meteor meme launch program, or if there's a protocol out there that just launched, a lot of people want to be able to say, see how it's going, like how many wallets are buying the token, which wallets are doing what. You might want to investigate if something gets rugged. Right now, what do? We rely on a couple of investigative accounts like CoffeeZilla and XBT. They do this for us. Internally, we have Tufan. He's our Tufanomics. He can literally take a wallet address, and he enjoys going to the block explorer, really diving deep and seeing how it's connected to these addresses. And it's time consuming. It's a lot of work, and you have to be really good at it. And a lot of people who are actually good at it still don't like to do it, because it's a lot of work to do. It's very, it's tedious to just crawl through a block explorer. And I think really the smart traders, the smart people in crypto need to be really good at looking at on-chain transactions. And that is one area of crypto that is not democratized at all. And I think what's going to make Rocket AI powerful, and one of the first use cases that we really want to emphasize, is that we want to be able to give actual regular humans, instead of having to look at a block explorer, just paste in a wallet address and summarize this wallet address, its history, what it's done, which tokens it's bought, and what it's connected to. You can do that for whether you want to do just do some research on the top 10 wallets of a token and make sure it's not a rug pull. Maybe you just want to do it for a whale. Maybe you just want to do it just to learn about your own wallet address, what are people seeing when they look at you. And I think that's going to be a very powerful one, because like I said, you have to be pretty nerdy to look at a block explorer right now. But once you know how to do it, it really makes you way smarter when you buy tokens in Web3 to know how to do that. And not everyone should have to do that. A Rocket agent should be able to talk to you like a human, like a friend, like Tufanomics does for the whole team, and say, hey, Tufan, this Penguin token is about to launch. These are the liquidity pools. What do you think should we jump in? Should we not? What are you thinking? Rocket AI should be able to answer those questions. So that's why we're excited about that, because we do it ourselves. And when we have one person on the team that just loves doing that, we don't even ask him. He'll just give us analysis in one of our rooms, and that's fun. And we want to be able to democratize those kind of insights. So yeah, I think that's the main one I want to emphasize. It's good because it makes you, it's really smart real-time insights. I think that's a good first step. I think it'll take a little bit more trust for you to give Rocket some money to buy something on your behalf. We're gonna have that. We want people to test that, but I think just making smarter decisions and giving you alerts even while you sleep and having those alerts can send to your SMS or text message so you actually get them and you're not missing them. I think that'd be a really good first step. That'd be actually really useful. So yeah, if you guys have other thoughts there, but we got to be. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on UpRock Wallet, explaining Web3, democratizing access to really cool on-chain insights, and then beyond that, we have to think of us as a platform because we want other agents to use UpRock. So that means integrate with other cool agents. There's many really cool agents out there that specialize in certain things, like, and there's integrations with, with the Solana, with Jupiter's exchange. We're going to have integrations with Pump Fund. Like, we're not going to build all those things from scratch. That's stupid. We want to integrate with many other cool agents and other cool protocols out there. Yeah.
Lots of really cool stuff. And so if folks, you want to get involved, or, you have any suggestions, well, one, we've got the Contribute to Earn program over on our Discord, so you can join our development journey, and share your thoughts and your feedback or things that you just love to see. And so join our Discord and then join that group, and you earn some UPT along the way for sharing your thoughts. There's some folks here in the chat that are part of that and have helped us with our journey, with things like previously, like with staking, our staking version 1. This is also another one of the topics. We also have we have the grant, so you can go check that out too. That's uprock.com/grants.
Yep. So and by the way, we've had
head over there too.
I think we've had now over close to 30,000 people sign up for Rocket AI beta, and we're not going to launch all 30,000. That's could be a lot, but we'll slowly trickle it out. So, but really excited that everyone's interested in it. That's a really strong beta tester group. So yeah, Rocket's actually Toofy himself. Yeah,
I love this comment, Ross.
Eventually, I feel like Rocket will just like talk to Toofy and wink at him, and like, I can take over now. Thank you.
Rocket is Toofy himself with a better attitude. So Rocket, so Toofy.
That's pretty harsh, Roz. That's pretty harsh.
Yeah. Roz.
Well, they're actually in closer physical proximity, and these two have known each other for a long time. So I'm sure there's been some heated conversation between the two of them, just like you and Jesse, Chris. The two of you are sometimes like oil and water.
It's funny, since Roz said that, now Rocket, every time Roz uses Rocket, Rocket's just like, shut up, Roz. It's just been trained to like not like Roz now.
Don't talk about my daddy that way.
Yeah, it's too fun. So
you know that meme of Black Cat energy and Golden Retriever energy? Yeah. That's Rocket and Toofy.
Yeah.
Just in one being, the physical being and the digital being. All right. Anyway, folks, here we go.
So we wanted to just bring that up because we could, reason why we talk about this a lot is because it's really easy to spin up an AI agent. I mean, we can literally do this afternoon. But it's hard to do it right. And you can tell, because if you talk to the one agents they don't do it right, it feels like a bot. It just feels like a customer support bot. And that's not what we want to do. We want to actually integrate and actually provide useful and show off our deepened network. That's the whole point of it. Otherwise, we just white label an agent that's already existing. So we were going to do it properly. We have tens of thousands of people who want to test it. We are going to start showing some of the demo of it. We're so far, integrating with our Slack channels. We're going to probably do x.com second for publicly, and then we'll have an actual chat UI experience in uprock.com on the website first. And then as we learn and build it better and actually it's working really great, then we'll extend it to the actual native applications where you can talk to Rocket through the apps. That's going to be the progression. But we want to make sure we do this right and doesn't feel like just another agent bot that we don't want to make it like a gimmick where he's like, it's fun to chat with, but it's not actually useful. And then you move on like a day after. So so I hope that was helpful to hear kind of Chris's thought. He's architecting around this and how we think about it and how we're going to build it correctly.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, or you want to pick Christopher's brain or any one of our brains, you got a hunger for brains, D-brains. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going at with this riff. But anyway, send your questions over on Discord. Send your questions over on X. If you got any going on while we're on the live, leave us a comment. If you're on YouTube, you can leave a comment here. Yeah, Valum asks, where do we sign up for Rocket AI?
Yeah, so just log in to the UpRock.com, go to the lobby section. You'll see a sign up there. And like I said, we have a ton of signups. We're going to start, because we have so many, we'll probably have to figure out a way to focus on the ones who really, really want to share their feedback with it. So maybe we'll like see who's signing up, but who's also been engaging with us. That probably might be the first cohort, because we really want people to try and give us feedback. So it's in the mix. It's working now because we're also using the same deep network to power Prism. So everything is like literally coming together right now, which is exciting. So this is a great way to start off 2025. So yeah, sign up there, and the fact that you're even asking, we'll you're going to be in the first cohort. I mean, the fact that you're in. You're in it. The fact that you're here and you're asking questions, you're in it. We'd love to get your feedback. So.
Yeah, Valum Sasso. And I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name actually. Is it right? Is Valum or Valum? But I mean, these are familiar names. So when you sign up, make sure we have your handle so we know.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. All right. That is it for Rocket for this week. You will be hearing about our little buddy for here on out. Every week, probably every week. So let's move on. For now, we're going to talk about. We'll give a little update on Prism, our deep as a service platform.
Cool.
Let's see. Do we have another screen? Oh, okay. Jess, do you want to have? There you go.
Yeah. Well, we just want to show. So we're going to go. I'm going to New York tomorrow. And then the team will be at Catstanbul. So we're going to show, I'm going to show some of this tomorrow, but really during Catstanbul, our goal is to actually have a proper status page up and running, a demo version where you can log in, and we're going to show that off to a lot of partners at Catstanbul. So if you guys, anyone is attending, we'd love to show you that there. But this is actually live. So we're going to build the most awesome status page ever. It's like, this is going to be the first one ever where it's deep and powered, where you can see your network. This is actually all the devices coming in. This is live stream. So it's working amazing. And Chris, you can talk about it a little bit if you want to, but it's, you can actually see, like, you're going to be able to see all of your response times of your site, or anything you're checking on, any type of website monitoring you want to do for any, it can be actually RPC or server, but really it's going to be focused on website, and you can see how it's running in 190 countries around the world, all deep and powered. We're going to show you how much tokens are being burned as this thing's being consumed and used around the world, and it's going to just be an awesome status page. So it's going to be the first Web3 powered, deep and powered status page, and it's already looking really amazing. So a couple other things we're going to add to these stats. We're going to show like the devices that are being pinged around the world. So all these little pings are actually humans in the UpRock network helping provide this uptime monitoring, which is awesome. So yeah, it's really coming together, guys. I think, like I said, for Prism, prism.uprock.com, we'll probably have the whole site live to go early next week, because we're gonna ship it before Catstanbul. So you're gonna see it then. Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and hopefully the guys are gonna be able to do a what is it, a bit of a talk at Catstanbul, or do stage a bit. So that would be really great. I mean, that's what we're hoping to do. Try to get approved for that, so these guys can talk about it there and demo there.
This is, we sort of spent so much time talking about Rocket this week. We didn't have as much time to talk about this one as I'd like to. So next week, let's really focus on Prism, because it's up and running. We are actually running live distributed checks on the UpRock network, and we're going to be showing it off. We're very, very excited about this, to really launch this, and this is something that's going to be available for anyone to sign up and use in the very near future. So we're gonna be launching this. Of course, there's more features coming, but this is already pretty awesome. I have it open right now in another tab over here, and it's cool to just watch the data coming in. I just it says Tokyo, Mexico, Singapore. And all right, here we just got one. We just got one from Riyadh. Do you know any other uptime system that can test from Saudi Arabia, from throughout Africa, places like that, give you real actionable real actionable insights and uptime information. So yeah, this is super exciting, and we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, if you never built a website, or if you're not technical, you might be wondering uptime monitoring, website speed tests. Like this is this is a huge industry. Every tech company on earth has a dev team that is paying for a uptime service, because you need to know, you can't just manage. Every single company on earth that has a website has a sophisticated one, whether even small businesses. You can't just sit there all day and load your site, and if it goes down, okay, fix it now. Or you can't wait till your customers tell you, like, hey, your site doesn't work, it's down. That's a horrible experience too. So what do? You actually pay for these uptime services and speed tests that monitor your site and then let you know instantly when something starts to look bad, and give your dev team alerts, and whether it's SMS, email, how they prefer it, Slack channels. You have to build all these things so they can get the alerts where they want, and then take action really fast. And how do you take action? Well, they need to know what happened. And if they just tell you, if it's a very unsophisticated product, they'll just say your site's down. Well, you need to be able to drill down further. Where is it down? Is it down near this server? Is it down in this country? Why is it down? Or is it just slow? And for some reason in Riyadh, why is it slow? And so the more you can decide, like, oh wow, it's been really slow on 3G networks in the US, and all these devices in this area, and this city is really bad. Well, that's great information for that dev team to now drill down and fix the problem and make their site faster. So every single website on earth that's worth their salt is paying for this stuff. And today it's all powered by kind of Web 2 versions, which is sometimes I use proxies, but majority of the time they're using just servers. So maybe a handful of servers around the world. In this case, you can actually show on a more granular 190 plus countries, how is my site doing? And as soon as it starts to go down or get slow, that team will be alerted. And that's why this is a far superior product, and why deep empowered a service like this is going to be pretty amazing. So what we've showed this to a few customers, we already know we're going to have some strong launch partners when we go live with the site. So that's going to be really great for the UpRock attention and for our community. Yeah, that's why it's so exciting. So yeah, if you're wondering, like, uptime monitoring, if you never heard that term, like, why are you guys doing this? Like, this is very powerful. Like I said, every single tech company on earth monitors their network. Plus, for marketing side, because status pages are public, it will be UpRock branded on the bottom, and it says powered by UpRock. And every single site that, not every single, like some sites where it's all about their network or all about the infrastructure, they use their status page as bragging. Like, they want to show to people, like, yeah, we're always up. Our sites are always green. Our infrastructure is always fast as hell. Like, if you go to status.solana.com, people always share that to show that Solana over time is just relatively great response time. It's always green, and you can just prove it because you can see that page is built by a third party, and so and then it's also really great for the company who powers that. Currently, it's Atlassian, which is one of the biggest providers of uptime services and status pages. So you can see it's great branding for them because they're powering that status page, and currently Solana uses them. Our vision is that every Web3 company, we can be the gold standard for providing the best status page and uptime services that are powered by the community and actually uses token incentivization to power this network. This is going to be powerful. So this is why we're so excited about it. Yeah, we didn't talk about it too much today. Chris will do that next week. We'll actually have a login and demo to show everybody, and that's our mission for the Catstanbul conference.
Yeah. And I like this, Troy. You're talking about the present, future, living, breathing networks. That's a great way to put it. Yeah, this is a breathing network. And so, okay, so what does this mean? So that's all great for enterprise businesses, but what does this mean? Let's say you have tokens, you either bought some UPT or you are contributing to the network. So what does that mean when those big, when those enterprise businesses are coming through the door? These launch partners are coming through the door. So take a look at our tokenomics again if you're not familiar with it. But it's uprock.com/tokenomics. I'll put that in the chat right here. Okay. Cool. And so we break down how this works, right? So for the B2B customers, when we have Prism revenue, 20% of that goes to the treasury, but 80% goes to buyback. So of that 80%, 40 is going to burn, and then another 20% is going to liquidity pools, and another 40 is going to the miners. So this, or I guess that's the contributors. So take a look at that. So we've really built this. I feel like we have a very fresh, a very different type of approach to our tokenomics, but we have a lot, all these events here that will help drive up the value of the token. We bring in money that's going back to all the open as well, primarily.
And also that's going to, so whether you're participating by running a node or just by having some UPT, it's going to benefit you. It should provide a benefit either way, because some of the tokens that come from people who buy these services, or some of the revenue that come from people who buy these services, of course, goes directly to people who are running the UpRock app on their devices, and some of it is used to buy back and burn UPT, which reduces the total supply. So it affects both sides of the ecosystem there. And just as a reminder, by the way, you'll notice that, as this launches, you'll see that people can either choose to pay for this service using UPT directly, which is great because, of course, they have to buy it from somewhere, or they can choose to pay for this service using a more traditional payment method. Because one of the things we know is that a lot of UpRock users, a lot of our end users, our individual users, are first-time Web3 users. This is their first experience of it, and we want to do the same thing with businesses. If a business wants this, if they're comfortable using tokens, if their accounting department knows how to account for tokens, that's great. They should use tokens. But if it doesn't, hey, we want to meet them where they are. So if a traditional business that's never owned tokens, is not comfortable with that yet, would prefer to pay us with a credit card or a wire transfer, that's fine. That money is still part of our tokenomics, and it will still go to rewarding our users and to buying back and burning UPT tokens.
And this, think about what a living, breathing network can do for anything that to make a smarter recommendation for a service. Even think about RPC. If you're using a wallet, they have a list of RPCs as a how do you know? They give you some response times. It's pinging some random servers to tell you which RPC server to use. Same thing here. We can use the same network actually to provide the best recommendation of the best RPC for you specifically, because we can actually ping the network and say which RPC is fast in your geo and at RPC, and that can actually be an API that many companies would love to use, because they want to be able to provide the best. Wallet companies want to be able to just recommend the best RPC that is actually best for you at that time. They don't really know that because they might be using. Like I said, they might be kind of using the Web 2 version, maybe just pinging a couple servers that are not even near your geolocation. But if you can ping a deep pin network, we can actually really Rocket RPC API. It would be actually the best API to let you know, powered by deep pin, what is the best route for you, the best route to actually trade.
Absolutely. Those of you who are more advanced crypto users, which I know some of you are from having heard you talk about it, I've seen you mention in the comments and so on, is I'm sure you've been on a website and transactions aren't landing, and you go and start fiddling with the Web3 settings and do I want to use this RPC today or this one? And you switch it, and then you get frustrated, so you fiddle the fee a little bit, and it's still frustrating. And and the great thing about this is something we don't want to be in every business. We don't have to run an RPC. We just have to provide that source of information. Hey, which one is the right one that the web app should select for you today from where you are? And so that's the kind of data and the kind of experiences that we can power.
Yeah, and that could be an API for other wallet companies and other agents could use. But that's another example of how we tie this together with why this matters to be able to have this living, breathing network, and why it could tie to even Rocket AI can also use, be able to integrate with the same API, so that even Rocket can recommend this is the RPC that you should use. And this is really what ties it all together, like, because you want to be able to have it, and necessarily you probably don't even care over time. It's just going to pick it for you, essentially. It'll just know better. And so just by having a living, breathing network of actual real devices, knowing exactly this is how fast this was in this location on this device, that is so much more powerful. So it's just going to get better and better and smarter, which is powerful. So yeah, this is it's all getting together, coming together, guys. So we're gonna emphasize Prism a little bit more next week. But the AI agent is the human interface. Just think of it that way. It's a natural language interface where you no longer have to look at a block explorer or understand on-chain stuff. It's just going to talk to you like a friend. This is what we've always said since day one. Rocket should be like the first wallet you can talk to like a friend. And then once you can do that, you can make superhuman decisions, whether you want to jump into a liquidity pool, buy a token, want to understand what staking means. For Rocket and the consumer reward side, we always say this is the world's best reward program in making. Because now that Rocket can access the internet with DePIN, it can not only help you with crypto, but also fetch deals for you. So say, hey, I just found a really great game that's willing to give you $10 if you play this in crypto. I found a really good Bitcoin thing. Whatever the reward deals are out there, there's a ton of them. It takes a lot of time to search and find the best ones. Rocket should be able to fetch you, save you time and money, essentially, and help you earn more too. And so this is the key. So anyway, yeah. Rocket BFF, let's go.
Yeah, and I see Dr. Gorkam's in the chat. So last week we had Dr. Gorkam with Blue Wave Labs. So we are working on Prism together. So go check out last week's stream on YouTube. You can watch the recording and hear from Dr. Gorkam himself. But yeah, and again, we mentioned the grants earlier. We mentioned them last week on this. So like, if you have things you want to build on this, like go check out uprock.com/grants. Let me just put that in. I'll put it in the chat.
Let me share the one they have too, because this one's specific.
Oh yes, actually, yeah. Let's do that one instead.
That'd be a great way to wrap this up.
No, we do have one more thing to discuss after this, but yeah, this segment at least.
Oh right, the iOS. It's just a sad one. Let's just do that first, because that's a depressing one. Talk about
okay. We will end it off on a high note. We'll talk about the grant, but before we do that, we will talk about, like Jesse said, the depressing one. So this is another iOS update. Unfortunately, folks, I don't have an update for you because we are still in review purgatory. As a recap, we introduced the play to earn games on Android back in November, and then we put it in the iOS, and it's been tough ever since then. Had a lot of back and forth. Then we're like, okay, we'll take that out for now, or we de-emphasize. We put in cashback deals. So this, like we were talking about earlier, like ways to a rewards program. So ways that you can earn UPT through the app, not just with the contributing to the DePIN network. Yeah. All of this totally optional. They don't like it. We need to get an update out, which will have some back end things that need to go out. So the next update you might get might not actually have either of these two new offers, but it has we have some back end things that have to be out there. So we're still working on it, though. We're still working on getting cashback deals and the play to earn offers. We're trying to figure it out. Anyway, I wish I had better news. But just want to give you a heads up. If we do end up getting an update, it doesn't have either of those two things. I'm really sorry. But we might have to we may have to separate our release features.
The challenge we have, and if you guys have ideas here, great, we'd love to hear it, is the specific thing they're so we're submitting new apps like every 3 days, and we're constantly getting rejected. We even got rejected for the app that they approved just to test the reviewer. And so I think this reviewer is just not even paying attention anymore, but
we got rejected for something that wasn't even in that version of the app. So
so I think this is like common nightmare of iOS developers. Like I cannot imagine if your sole like plans is just to be iOS only, and you have to deal with this crap. Man, just kill your startup. But here's the thing that they say: if the primary purpose of your app is to do digital tasks to earn rewards, that's inappropriate. They use that word inappropriate. So whatever that means. But we have to somehow emphasize that, look, people can earn rewards but it's passive. They don't have to actually do anything. The play to earn and the other stuff is totally optional. It's an UpRock. It's a wallet first. Primary purpose is a wallet. You can send and receive tokens. You can stake. And so we're going to try to, we need to somehow on the UI show that more. And this is why we're getting rid of some of the optional ways to earn, because they're really great because people can actually earn a lot playing games. And on the Android side, people love it. I mean, it's really working awesome. But for some reason, they don't like that. What's more annoying about this, if you look in the word play to earn or reward program or play games to win, there are apps that are in the millions that do this, 10 million, 50 million apps in the iOS that do this. So we have no idea why they're getting approved or not. So we did we actually finally did an appeal process. We've done like just ask them to do a call, but nothing seems to work. So we're gonna do an appeal process. So if you guys have ideas of how to make that home screen and make it feel more like primary purpose is a wallet and not a digital task for, like, none of that's it's also vague. We don't get it. So we've been trying every little thing we could think of. So next step, we're probably gonna do this appeal. Second, we're gonna add staking front and center. We'll say, welcome to the UpRock wallet. Learn more about staking. That'll open a full page, talk about Web3 wallet, explain staking. I hope that the reviewer will see that and be like, okay, this is more about the wallet. And then second, maybe add some more shopping deals, because they say shopping is okay. So if that's the one way to like sneak into games by just adding more like real world item shopping, maybe we'll do that second. But we're gonna try the staking first. So we'll let you know how it goes. We are pushing this constantly. Like literally every 3 days, we're putting in a release, testing something, getting rejected, testing something, getting rejected. And that's where it's at. But we do need to get some info down, because there are some behind the scene updates that will help our iOS community earn more, especially because we have to add, our DATS project with our partners. That network is actually starting to work, and we have some nodes up and running. And if we want our iOS users to earn a lot of revenue with DATS, and also the uptime service, we need that out there, because if once Prism is out, if this app never gets approved, then the iOS community is not going to see some of the tasks from Prism. So that'll be horrible. So we're going to just try to at least put a bare minimum update, or at least some of the deepen tasks that are coming through right now in the beginning of the year, DATS and Prism. We want at least the iOS community to get their fair share there too and participate. So this is the goal. And then we'll see. So if you have any suggestions on how we could, if you guys ever had this nightmare of iOS, let us know. We'll take any advice. But until then, we're going to keep grinding and pushing.
Yeah. It just occurred to me.
Yeah.
You heard those stories about the people who got like their insurance claims rejected automatically, and it turned out it was like AI. The insurance company's AI. It was just automatically rejecting totally valid claims.
Yeah.
Are we running into Apple Intelligence here?
No, everyone hates Apple Intelligence right now, so maybe
that's what's going on. They need Rocket.
Yeah, I know.
They will need. I don't know. They need Little Red Riding Hood needs to get through the woods and approve our goddamn app. All right, let's go on to this grant, Jesse. That you were going to share. You have the.
Let's end with. So anyway, it's super annoying. Drives me to drink, but we'll keep going. So all right, let's just end this one, because it's this is so exciting. Like I said, all the building of infrastructure, maintaining a millions of people data network, keeping everyone happy and all that stuff is a lot of work. But this is the ultimate culmination, is being able to power really amazing tools for businesses. That revenue is going to help go right back to providing liquidity for the miners and the whole community. So we are already getting some great submissions, some really awesome ones. And if you guys want to go to, you can obviously go to uprock.com, but if you want to go specific to Prism and you want to help contribute to this platform that's coming, we have a little more specific rules here. And so just fill out the form, submit it. If you love your idea, then you work with us, and then basically submit your code directly on the GitHub repo. You submit a pull request, and then that's kind of standard stuff there. But you can learn more about it here. So checkmate.so. You can see here you can have to submit your proposal form, and then there's some example projects. So Some of the ideas we've got are really awesome. So keep them coming. And we want to execute on this fast. So if you have something cool and you have a good GitHub resume, we'll just check those two things out. The partners will be the one to make final decision because that's why we're partnering with them. So they're amazing. These guys are open source contributors to the max. They're educators as well. They love that. So everything you're going to contribute will also be open source. So that's awesome. And yeah, we'd love to just build with the community. So go to checkmate.so/grants, learn more, and please submit your forms.
Yes, please do. All right. I think we're wrapping up here, guys. We went a little bit over 1 hour, so thank you so much for sticking around. Val, I noticed that you've been sharing in the chat your the flow that you experienced with signing up for Rocket, and yes, we have an update also. So many updates upon updates upon updates, but we do have an update for the dashboard on web. So UpRock.com will have an update on that, as well as update on Prism, update, web update on that.
That's a good point, Jen.
Yeah, so we'll fix that. Thank you for sharing your insight on that flow. So that will be fixed for sure.
Yeah, that's a good point, Jen. So yeah, along with the Prism site, the homepage of UpRock will we'll still focus on consumer, just a kind of balance we have to do, but we do want to show more like schematics of how the whole network vibes together. We have the B2B and we have the consumer side. I think we need to show that more on the homepage so people get a sense of how this all fits together in a kind of ecosystem. And then also highlight Prism once that website is live. We want to actually link to it, of course, from the homepage. So UpRock.com will always be more consumer. We want people to download the apps and continue to grow the network. But you should also be able to see what you're contributing to. How is this whole thing getting paid? And it's getting paid for by the B2B side. So
yeah.
You know what? Last question here. When CMC, or if you have a few more, we take them. But yeah, this is annoying. So we submitted to CMC many times, and we're in their long queue. There is an expedite fee we could pay, and we talked to some of our backers and angels and some of our VCs, and we say, hey, is this worth really paying? Because we can use that money as a startup. It just eats on our runway. I think we might just pull the trigger and pay it because these guys are like putting us on a long queue. I mean, we submitted this thing months ago. Yeah, we submitted it months ago, and we continually resubmit it. And I don't know if it's just a game they play. Like they don't actually list anybody unless the volume's crazy or everyone just pays. I don't know. But it's a kind of a high price. So I don't know. We can afford it, but we have always been pretty frugal, and this is how we do well as a company. We don't overspend anywhere. But we know how important it is to have it there. So it came up a couple of times this month, like, hey, how come we're not still on there? So I don't know. I probably seems like we're probably just pulled the trigger. Right? Like no more delays on that thing, right? I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I think that's where we're gonna land.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I'll follow you. Yeah. Yeah. In agreement.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like I'm not talking about a few $100 here either, guys. It's like it's kind of stupid how much they charge to just get listed compared to other sites. And so we thought we could just wait them out, but it's so important to be on that thing that we'll just fuck it, we'll just pay.
You just showed our cards then if they're listening now.
Well, they know. They know. I'm sure we're not the first ones to be like, what the hell, really? It costs that much?
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Okay, guys, that's it for the week. We're going to get back to work, but before I get back on Prism, I'm going to check out that thread that Daniel, so Great Daniels, you see him in the chat, you see him in the Discord, shared on X about 5 hours ago, right? We saw it right before we started the stream about AI Agents 101. So I'm going to go check that out, and I suggest you guys too. You do too. And then after that, it's right back to work. So we will have a big update for you. We'll have updates for you next week. Hopefully, we'll give you some more. Give you some demos. And from here on out, it's all about AI dog named Rocket.
Yeah,
and
AI plus DPIN. That is
AI plus DPIN. It's all. Yes, I'm sorry. DPIN is still there. Of course, living, breathing network. Yeah. All right. Okay, guys, thank you so much
thanks,
for coming.
As always,
to our stream.
thanks for joining us. We appreciate your time on these Thursday afternoons. I hope everybody has a great day.
Yes.
And we'll see you guys all next week.
We'll see you next week. Have a great day. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.